Do you want to be a cog in a machine orchestrated by someone who values you as much as they value their material wealth, maybe even less? Your contribution to their success is greatly appreciated and rewarded with more work and greater working hazards. What? That's already your life? Well, what if it was fictional? Welcome to the game playlist. My name is Akshan. Next to me is Seshan.
Hello, how you doing?
Next to him is Anuk.
Konnichiwa.
And next to him is D-Man. Delantha.
I don't know what other language to go.
Bonjour.
Someone give me another language.
Iboan.
Iboan. All right, we're going Iboan. Let's go. Iboan.
Once a month, we pick a game and play it. And this month's game is Lethal Company. Our resident hardworking employee, Anuk, has picked the game for us today. Anuk, tell us about this game, please.
All right, so where do I start? So I picked all this information off the wiki because I was too lazy to read into the stuff. So, and there wasn't enough time.
Of course. All right. I'm looking forward to hearing this.
Before you start, Anuk, I
Yes.
hope you know the boss at the company is watching what you say.
Well, screw him. He doesn't care.
Oh no! There goes our
Whoa.
quota. There goes our quota for the week.
970? What's 970? You restart again.
Not for us, yeah. Start again.
So essentially, what is a Lethal Company? So what I found out, so Lethal Company is a science fiction game set in the Tissel Nebula around the year 2108, which is quite interesting, if I must say, because I didn't even know that we are set around this nebula system, to be honest. And humanity has been exploring and colonizing space for centuries. And in this time frame, they have been bringing these specific mundane creatures, supposedly, from Earth to these places like, as we know, as Titan and stuff in game. Once you play the game, you'll understand the references. But either ways, and in those places is where these creatures have been mutated, and we have these problems, as we call issues, or dangerous creatures as we face. Anyway, so we as the players have to take on the role of employees of the company, scavenging scrap across different moons, such as Titan. What are the other moons? Anyone has names? I forgot the names now.
March, Wow, Offense.
Mars, Wow, Offense. There we go. Resident expert here. And then we have to gather them and then scavenge and then feed it back to the monster in the company, which is a tentacle monster for some reason. I do not know why either, but let's assume it is Cthulhu.
Japan. Oh.
Or Japan, sure.
The technical
Yes.
monsters in Japan.
The country of Japan has become. That's why it's so big, that building. You can never see the end of it. Well, thank you, Anuk, for that.
Actually, wait, before you continue, Anuk, you're probably right. It's Cthulhu. It's probably not Japan because it's not censored.
Yeah.
I mean, it is censored.
I mean,
That was a bit of a head scratcher.
Are we going to talk about the monsters now, or are you going to talk about the monsters later?
No, we'll talk about it in time. Thank you for that.
In time.
That's a good introduction.
Sorry, wait. I have a question. So,
Play the
Anuk.
game.
I was gonna be like, what game are we talking about? No. The space thing, Anuk, is that
Yes.
like real? Is that real
Yeah, that's-
space shit, or is it like made up?
No, it's actual law. But basically what happens is, because we pick up those data things you see in the data chips, right? Whenever we go to the moons,
Sure.
the logs,
yeah.
basically the logs.
I definitely remember that. Yep.
Definitely.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah.
No, facts, all facts. But
Oh, facts.
basically all those log entries have everything written down as to what happened or whenever people come into those moons and stuff. So those are all log entries from different explorers.
There's also like I think there's like a sticky note on the ship that you can pick up that has some dude's name, and he's the guy who's apparently
Sigmund.
keeping. Sigmund. He's the dude who has like
Sigurd.
Sigurd.
Yeah.
Sigurd. Yeah. So he has like apparently. I don't know if he's the one who's done the logs or whatever, but like his information is like also on the ship.
Yeah.
Anyways.
So we will get into that and more during this podcast. Just to let you know, this game is currently in early access. It is only on Steam, I believe. Any
like most
points on that?
most modern games.
Yes, so it's currently only on Steam. However, we are recording in February of 2024. Don't correct me. And so many of the comments we make today may be irrelevant when it is released on other platforms or just
there might be future updates basically that
changes
by the time
Being a
this
pre-release and it's an early access game, you never know.
Yes. So if things have changed massively, think of this as a time capsule of what it was like for Little Company in February of 2024. All right. So moving on from that, let's talk about the game itself, not from any other place other than gameplay. So with this game does not have as much of a story, so it has a world. It doesn't have a story, like a plot. So we'll mostly be talking about the gameplay and the level design, but we will discuss the tone and the world itself a little later. But for now, it's gameplay, just strictly how the game feels, how the game looks, how it works, and all of that. So start off with the control scheme and the game feel. Did it feel right? Was there any issues? Really, is the question. Was anything unclear?
Other than the inverted mouse wheel, I feel like every control was basic.
I agree.
Huh?
Yeah, when you scroll forward,
yeah,
it doesn't go left. It's Japanese for some reason. It goes the other way.
It's Japanese.
Maybe it is really Japanese inspired.
The tentacles, the scrolling. It changed Japanese, I must say.
Scrolling's the other way around. And there are different devices and tools that you can use that you can buy on the ship. One of the mechanics of the game is that you get these things which you sell later on to meet quota, but you can also use that money that you make to buy tools to help you get more things to make money to meet quota. And one of those things is the walkie-talkie, the shovel. Actually, the walkie-talkie and the shovel are probably the most, and the pro flashlight and the flashlight. The three things that most people like buy and use, especially in the beginning stages. Any issues with them? Because I have one comment about the shovel. The thing I realized is that it's not very intuitive. The hitbox of the shovel, like when you are wielding the shovel, I don't really know its reach, and I don't really know if I hit something whenever I hit something with it, especially
to be fair, there's no crosshair of any sort, is there? It's just like the prompt comes up once, like you're playing the game as if though like you are
the person.
like with an imaginary crosshair, so to speak. So like you roughly know where the thing is. It's like I also find like it. Yeah, because like it becomes an issue like when even picking up objects that are really small, like you're like really focused.
Oh, I have an issue with that. I have an issue with picking up objects. So there's an issue whenever you look down, right? You can't look exactly down. You have to go backwards and then pick up the item. You can't look exactly down at your feet, so to say. And it's annoying. Even though you can see the item it shows press F to collect it, you can't pick up the item. You need to move back a little bit to pick it up.
Yeah, there's a mod that fixes that.
Yeah, I saw that, but it's like stupid. But then you shouldn't have a mod to fix that issue. It's like,
yeah, we'll get into mods in a little bit, but for now we're discussing the game as is. I still feel like the shovel. I feel like, especially sound design, the game sound design is pretty good overall. But the sound of the shovel hitting is not really that clear, especially in the heat of the moment. I feel like I want it to be a little clearer when the shovel hits an enemy or even a person.
I think the hitbox problem is more.
Sorry.
I think the hitbox problem is a bigger issue than the sound thing. Because like most often you end up killing us than the actual enemy.
Yep.
Okay. Can I just tell one story? Okay. I think we all know the story I'm gonna say. So Akshan has this big talk about the shovel, no hitbox. No. Let me tell you something Akshan did to me. Okay. I want you all to listen good. So we were at the company, right? I believe we were at the company selling some stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You might want to explain what the company is, sorry.
I mean, we explained it, right?
Did we not explain that yet?
We did, didn't we? Like you explained it in the start.
Yeah, you explained it in the start. We were working for the company.
So so TLDR, it's another planet where you have to go and sell the scraps that you get from other planets.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yes.
So
you can't die, really.
Yeah. Not all irrelevant to my point. Anyway, me and Seshan and Anuk, right? They were just going about their, selling, like doing actual work for the company, like good employees, right? Then me and Akshan, Akshan been a friend of mine for such a long time. He was like, "Hey, why don't we go explore the planet? There must be more to this than just the shop." So me and Akshan went around the planet, and there's not much. There's just a little bit of area beyond the shop counter and stuff like that. And there's an area where you can go down. So then me and Akshan thought, hey, let's go check it out. We went down. We walked along quite a long platform, got to the edge, and there's nothing there to see. It's just a platform, just there for flavor, whatever. So I turned to Akshan and I think I said, oh, there's nothing here. Let's go back. And Akshan didn't say anything. He just looked at me. And I thought maybe he might have disconnected or he's busy or doing something else. He took the shovel that was in his hand and beat the living crap out of me. He beat the living crap out of me and left my body detail. What am I missing out on?
I looked at you and I said,
I made sure the betrayal was pointed out very explicitly.
I looked at you and I said, wouldn't it be funny if I just killed you here? They wouldn't know.
Sorry, the trauma from the event has blocked that from my mind.
And then I took your body with me as well. I didn't even leave.
You entered the ship and like you were all bloodied.
No, I think I'm pretty sure you left me because like
no. He brought you back.
He brought me back.
No, we brought him. I think we brought you back afterwards. I think he left you out for dramatic effect.
Yeah, because I feel like Seshan and Anuk were like, oh, "Where's Dilam?" I was just laughing at that.
I was laughing, pretending like you died accidentally.
Anyway, yeah. In conclusion, the shovel sucks. Anyway, moving on.
The shovel sucks in the wrong person's head.
And the moral of the story is friendly fire is on.
Mm-hmm.
Another moral of the story is never give Akshan the shovel.
Never trust your friends. That's another moral of the story. Anyway.
If there's anything we can take away from today, is that you truly do not know your friends until they have a shovel in their hands.
Yep.
In a fictional game, and they could just kill you.
Pretty much.
Or in real life, you never know.
Hey, no.
Dun.
All right, so there's also these really big items, which one of them, I don't know if any of us got the jetpack.
No.
But we did get teleportation devices. We got taser guns.
Yeah, the
stun gun.
Stun gun.
Yeah, and they work fine. They work very funny as well. The teleportation device, the story of Devanta wondering whether we died and then teleporting our bodies and laughing maniacally. Check that out on Xenoplex.
Thank you. Yeah, the shot is there. Yeah, that was a very interesting moment. I do want to talk about like the experience of like staying back on the ship, but maybe a little later. I think that's a
this is a fair point. There's a fair point to talk about it.
All right, so full disclosure to the audience. Dilantha's not a big fan of horror games. He thought he could make it through Lethal Company. He could not. So I would say it's not a scary game. I would just say there's a lot of uncertainty with the creatures and the monsters that you end up facing. There's a lot of, I would say, what would you guys say, mild jump scares, like for the most part, right? But like, yeah, if you're someone who doesn't enjoy that, then yeah, obviously terrifying. So I thought one of the ways that you can kind of get around it if you're playing with your friends or just with a different group, it's to stay on the ship. So while the other three good employees go into the planet and start getting treasure, tools, whatever, you can stay on the ship, and there are different monitors so that you can track. There's a map so you can keep track of where your teammates are, where monsters are, so you can warn your teammates about it if you have a walkie-talkie in hand. You can also have open doors, and I think you can check out other information about the planet you're on from the ship. Now, you think that being on the ship, you'd be safe. However, I know we haven't talked too much about exact monsters, but there is a monster in particular that is stalking the outside. You know, near your ship, around that area, kind of waiting for unexpected people with walkie-talkies who are talking loudly, playing loud sounds, doing random stuff. If you start making a lot of noise, these monsters do hear that around you, and they are able to come into the ship and attack you. Had a couple of instances of that. I would say, to be honest, for me, it wasn't too bad because I think both times they were glitched, where the monsters came and attacked me, but like the actual attack didn't really show up on the screen, so it wasn't that scary. But I would say it's still better than going inside the planet, but it's not. It's just a clear indication once again of the world. Like, it's not safe, you know. Like, you may think, or even staying in the safety of your ship, nowhere is truly safe in Lethal Company.
That's the moral of that story. One major feature.
A lot of morals today. A lot of morals today of the story.
One other major feature of this game is the what do you call it? Voice microphones.
Proximity chat.
And sound detection.
Proximity chat.
The game is aware of your volume levels, meaning that some monsters respond to sound, and if you literally speak in game through your microphone.
Or if your phone gets heard in.
I wonder who could that be.
You might say that.
Hear the clip. Hear the clip.
There's no queuing of clip there.
Link in description. So there are moments where there's monsters, or specifically the dogs. The dogs are the ones that respond to sound, where you see the dog and you go quiet and you look at your teammates and you just shake your head and you try something to tell them to shut up.
So,
Akshan,
so give context on that. We haven't talked about any of the monsters, right? So, like, one of the monsters is a creature called the eyeless dog. Yeah. They roam outside the facility, like where your ship is. I think we didn't speak about that either. So, like, in terms of like the game structure and the layout, is that you land on when you land on a planet, and like you go from to and from your ship. Basically, you go inside a facility that usually has a main exit and some fire exits, and you get loot from inside the facility and you bring it out onto the ship. So there's a lot of enemies both inside and outside, and this particular one that Akshan's talking about is an enemy that's outside called the eyeless dog. And the way that this particular enemy works is that it bases its attacks off audio and not visually. So like you have to basically crouch and not make any noise or not speak. Otherwise it'll hear you and otherwise it'll hear you and kill you.
And so there's a lot of crouching and just crouch walking and saying absolutely nothing in the game when that happens.
Yeah.
Yeah. Proximity chat is an interesting thing about this game. I don't know if I've played another game where it uses it like this. Maybe there are others.
There is, right? Like Among Us and stuff.
Among Us is not built in.
Yeah.
Sure,
It's not built in. It's a mod.
Not built in.
That's not built in.
Yeah. I guess technically PUBG uses proximity chat.
Yeah, and like
well, proximity chat against AIs, against like creatures in the game.
Against AIs. Maybe not a well-known game. But
there are some newer games that are coming out that are like that. I saw like a recent like full-on horror game that's like Lethal Company-esque, where like your movement and your sound from your microphone are based off of like whether the enemies hear you, similar to Lethal Company, but it's single player, like full horror story.
As the technology develops, I imagine a game where AI, they're able to read what you're saying in real time and you're able to talk.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure that is already.
They've already showed demos of that happening. So
demos, but like in a full game where it's properly utilized.
As in, demo me, eventually it'll get.
Yeah, there's demos of everything right now, but as a mechanic, that'd be interesting. All right, well, that's that stuff. One thing I want to talk about. Say it again.
Small fact: the ship is actually not called the ship; it's called the boat.
It says
the boat.
It says the ship when you scan it,
but online it shows the boat.
Actually, Shashan, according to the wiki, it's called the boat. So.
I'm gonna guess because a ship is a big important vessel, so the company does not like calling your boat a ship, so like it's a boat. It's a space boat.
Or maybe it is just it's called the boat because of people calling it the boat.
Like in Nemo.
Yes.
Nemo.
Touch the boat.
Touch the button.
I like how Anuk's explanation was. Maybe they call it the boat. Maybe it's called the boat because people call it the boat.
Thanks, Anuk.
No worries.
One thing I want to talk about is the intentional design of the game to be inconvenient to you. For example, inventory, you only have 4 slots, and that includes if you're carrying a shovel, a flashlight, and a walkie-talkie. That takes up 3 of your slots. You only have 1 slot to carry supplies back and forth from the ship. The game incentivizes you and like being tactical about your inventory space when you're not playing modded, of course.
I think the game is more intentionally designed to be played with other people rather than it being.
It is very much with other people. Yeah. So what that means is that not everyone can have a shovel, because if the person with the flashlight also has a shovel, that's 2 slots gone.
Yeah, because like you can see that it's intentional also, because like with the design of some other items like the walkie-talkie, in that like if you were thinking about it in a realistic way, right? Like if you were to speak through a walkie-talkie, everyone would be able to hear you, right? Which is what they've done in the mod. But in the base game, it's like only the 2 people that have the walkies can actually hear each other. And like that, then it requires another level of communication from like the person hearing
the middleman.
Yeah, the middleman to like the rest of the group.
Yes. The game is very much
So
better if you play
with
4 people.
You need to have friends. You need to have friends to play the game.
Or random people you meet online.
I wouldn't say necessarily, but like I'd say like it's meant to.
Yeah, to get maximum enjoyment, I guess it is better with friends.
Yeah, the game is built to be like that, played like that. One other thing is the stamina bar. It's a tiny thing, but the stamina bar is so unclear. It's so unclear. They made a mod just to make it clearer. I feel like it's a choice to make that stamina bar so like hard to read when your stamina is low or like in a really low state. Because the game is about you just doing a lot of work for a company. So the gameplay also makes it as inconvenient as possible for you to do your job. Which is in keeping with the theme of the game.
Well done, Lethal Company. Very cool.
Zekas,
well done. It made capitalism.
Before you
any bugs that you all encounter?
Before you get into any of that, right? Like I'd say like one of the major things that like we should like mention here is the fact that this game was entirely made by a one-person team, and like the work done on it, like even at this level, is like absolutely fantastic for a game, and like the success it's had is like, I mean, it's become a gaming phenomenon for a reason. So like, it's like taken over that sort of like horror genre away from Phasmophobia for a while now. And like,
yeah, it's very simple. It's not too complicated, but every single element of it works with every other element and works well throughout.
And like it's brought like a like, I think Lethal Company as a whole has like brought like the gaming community to like a point. I've like seen so many arguments with like Lethal Company being the example of how like
indie companies.
Yeah, like indie companies are like making like good new original content. Suppose like a lot of AAA titles that are turning up same nonsense every year. God. But yeah, I mean, the impact that Lethal Company and in turn Zeekers have made on the community as a whole is like, I feel like that deserves like a shout out in that regard.
Yeah.
I hope it keeps the momentum going, because like, I mean, these are good, and then people get this high on indie. I hope it keeps on going, because sometimes people kind of like drop. Like, to be honest, right? Since Lethal Company has come out, we've had Palworld, Helldivers,
but Helldivers is not it's not indie company. Helldivers indie company? No, right?
No, not indies. What I'm saying is like games which are kind of taking over that the
genres.
noise.
It's not a AAA game because it's not $60, right? It's like that. It's a mid-level game. It's a very good mid-level game instead of
Helldivers. Yeah, it's Helldivers.
Yeah, Helldivers.
Oh yeah, it's a double A. But that's what I mean. Like, so some newer games have now like come and like taken the conversation away. So I hope that momentum keeps going, and like the support for indies and like especially single dev teams keeps going.
Even in the AAA space, the ones that like got a lot of acclaim at the Game Awards and got a lot of acclaim in general were the ones that had the least amount of AAA like nonsense in it, like Baldur's Gate and Alan Wake, which were just games. They were just good games, and that's it. No caveats, but it has microtransactions. But it has a battle pass. It's nice. It's nice to be in this. It's a nice time for gaming.
Nature is healing. Nature is healing, as they say.
Let's all move away from microtransactions and back to
no more battle passes.
No more.
Give us everything at once. All right. So
but then if you have everything at once, you need to pay for the game. So that's
fine, right?
That's fine. I'd rather do that than freaking $10 every 3 months for a battle pass.
Let's just say this: there's arguments for both sides.
Yeah, there is.
Just leave it at that. Just leave it at that. Yeah.
There are some games that are fine as a battle pass, but like Fortnite.
We can. Anyway, the good thing is this game doesn't, so that's why you should.
Speaking of Fortnite, there's a new update dropped.
Oh no!
No,
that'll be on the next gameplay.
No. Okay.
All right. Any bugs that we've encountered? Any bugs of things?
Yes, spiders.
I have one. It's not a bug, but anyway, go ahead.
I will say this: there are some visual and bug stuff, which I mean, sure. I guess these are just things that happen, especially for games like this. So I can't say that bad. But maybe you guys have experienced something bad.
I mean, Akshan has seen birds flying in the ground.
Oh yeah, I saw that was horrifying. That was the scariest thing in the game. There was a glitch where the birds were stuck to the ground, and so they are the fastest thing in the game because they're not supposed to hit you; they're supposed to just fly away. So I just looked in the distance. I hear this, and I turn around. I just see it coming at me, and it's horrifying. Horrifying, and it doesn't do anything, thankfully. But my lord, it's like a spider just coming up at you.
Any bugs?
One thing I feel like is the thing where you look at it and it stops moving. The something
the coil head.
Oh, the coil head.
Coil head. I don't know what you're supposed to be looking at for it to stop moving.
I think you're supposed to stop looking at its face.
Its face?
Yeah.
Were you looking at its face when you died, when you were trying to move past it?
No, I was looking at its body.
Okay. Yeah, that's one thing I feel. Well, is that fair to say? I don't know.
It's not a bug. Here's the thing. I mean, like, I think we're gonna get onto it. Are we gonna get onto it later, like with the whole creature designs and stuff like that? Like,
I think
we can go into that in a bit.
But like, I feel like a lot of the things in the entirety of the game are left for the users to discover. It's very. I'd say it's one of those games that are very wiki heavy games, in the sense where like the community has to come together to like sort of bring the information to like it's like similar to like Minecraft or like Stardew Valley or like stuff like that, like games where like you have to, where the community has to get together to sort of like compile all the information and then help newer players to sort of understand how to do better at the game. So like, I feel like maybe the coil head is just another one of those, right? So like maybe it's something that we didn't read up on.
Look at the face.
Yeah.
Please. Yes.
And like it's a lesson learned for us now.
Yes. The only thing that felt off, not really a bug, only thing that felt off is that most of the creatures fit the style of the game and looked good and looked like intimidating, and you like they felt like they fit within the world. No, most of them felt like that, except for one, which was the blob. Whenever the blob has to make a jump, it doesn't look like he's making a jump. Whenever he's going down the stairs, it's a flat thing just going down the staircase. It's not sort of blending in. It's just a bit off if I'm looking for anything. It's not really a big problem, but when I look at it, I'm like, oh, yes, we're playing a game. That's not scary.
Sorry. Oh, yes, we're playing a game.
Because when I see the bracken, I think I need to run. When I see the coil head, I think, oh, I need to look at it and try and angle my way. When I see the blob, I think, I'm playing a game. Let me game this. But that's the only one out of like 20, like 20 different creatures or something. Which we'll get into in our next section, which is about anything about the gameplay that you want to talk about? I don't think so. I think we've covered it.
Okay, no. So there's one item, right? There's one item that we haven't used personally, but I've read up on. That is the weirdest item in the game, and I don't know why it exists. It's the inverse teleporter.
Oh, that's the best item. What are you talking about?
No, it's super weird because it just teleports you to a random location within the facility, which includes inside worlds and over pits.
That's good though.
Oh, okay. That's I think that's a bug.
And like even in front and even in front of monsters. Like no, it's apparently on the wiki. They're like, there's a statistical chance of it happening.
Is it a good thing? Did Anuk say that? Did you say it's a good thing?
It's joking. It's not a good thing.
Oh, I thought you were being genuinely serious. Okay.
And I think
but the best part about it is that you have a random aspect of the game, right? It's not like you will be teleported in front of a loot item or you be teleported to a very obscure place which you can find good items.
Also, I would like to address one thing which like kind of like came to mind like after Anuk mentioned the whole like backstory about Lethal Gun, right? So like this story is supposed to be taking place in the year 2100 something, right?
Yes.
Why are we working with a terminal that is text based and not a GUI computer?
When you go
Like-
forward in history, you always go backwards in technology.
You know what? Actually, that's not that wrong, because if you think of games like which are supposed to be futuristic, a lot of them do show backwards technology.
See?
I think it's working off of Blade Runner logic, because
Yes.
Blade Runner was made long ago, but then when it gets to 2019, its future is we can go to a terminal and have a FaceTime on a big old computer.
Yeah. Okay. But like, I mean, like
It's
the
like-
whole. I feel like we didn't talk about the whole terminal like aspect of the whole game, because like that's something that the person who's on the ship most often uses, because like
Yeah, the terminal.
I feel like a lot of people don't really use it that much. It's not
Well, you
very
only
intuitive.
really use it if someone does stay on the
Yeah,
ship.
but even then, it's not intuitive that you use it.
Why do you say so?
Like I don't know. I feel like some of the commands and stuff like that, like it like
I'd say you have to use it to go to planets. So players have to sort of learn it.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
So the intuition comes from needing to use it, and then be like, oh, there
No,
are
but
other
I think
commands.
I
I
mean,
think Sashaman, when you're on the planet, you don't really.
yeah, right. Because like I feel like I learned the fact that you only have to have someone to stay on board the ship after the fact that like I read up somewhere, right? Like the strategy is that one person stays on the ship, and then that's the person like with the walkie who can like tell people where to go and stuff. Like I didn't even know that you can see the map layout on the ship, right? Like for the better part of like the half like for half the time we've been playing, right? Like we didn't know. Like we all four of us just went, and if all four of us died, that's it. Our stuff is gone.
Yeah.
Like well, that's like another thing, right? Like it's not very the game's not intuitive but I think that's how it's built. It's not meant to
I
give
guess
you
it's by
instructions.
design. I think that's all by design.
Yeah.
It's
But like
meant to
it's a
frustrate you.
major part of the game that like I feel like we didn't talk about, so like that's why I brought it up, because like
True.
you can
True.
you
Makes
can
sense.
you can
Oh, I remember how everyone was telling me you have to type into the screen switch monitor when I handily found a button next to the screen that said switch monitor.
No. So that's no.
I
So
felt like a genius.
no. Inside the terminal, Lakshan, you were pressing the one near where the lever is, right?
Where the lever is? No.
What?
No. The screen itself has a button.
Okay. Wait.
perspective.
Okay, let's get some clarity here. So there's the screen which is in front of the lever which you pull to go to the planet.
Yes.
Were you
Yes, that's
using
the one
that,
I'm talking
or were you using the terminal where you have to type?
I was using that to switch perspective whenever I was on the walkie.
Okay, so that's the thing, right? So there's a bigger UI on the terminal
Okay.
where you can like
No. I'm aware that you can do that there. It's just that I was like, there must be an easier way, and I found that, and I was like,
no, because the reason why people use the terminal is that that's where you like deactivate doors and stuff like that, right? And like you can use the walkie-talkie while still on the terminal and stuff like that.
okay.
So like,
But you can't see the screen, can you?
No. So like
You can see the screen.
so
You can still see the screen and
so
the talkie.
when-
You can use talkie.
it's no. So like when you're
No. See the screen while on the terminal and typing.
Yeah, you can.
wait,
Oh yeah,
what do you mean?
It's an overlay.
What do you
It comes
mean?
up as an
What do you mean?
overlay.
See the screen?
Oh.
Oh yeah, so like have you not seen that, right? Like you type view monitor and then like the map that you see on that screen with the button.
And you can type.
Yeah.
And you can type after that also, yeah.
Basically that shows up on the terminal in like a bigger in a bigger area. So
that makes more sense. Now I understand.
Yeah.
I've just been looking at the screen. It's like, oh, open that door, go to the monitor.
No, so like
I
the
didn't
people
know that.
usually use the terminal if they're like on the ship.
All right, that makes more sense. Tipping
And
in
now
right.
you know.
All right, well, now you know. Now you know, viewer,
Now you
if you
know.
play the game. All right. There was feel like there was one more that I'm completely forgetting, but I don't think I am. So we'll move on. 2. Let's talk about level design. Now, this game, you can go to multiple different planets. Some of them are harder than others.
Oh, okay.
You're talking about the
I'm hanging
planets
on.
now?
What did you, what did
Oh,
you
sorry. No. I think you were building up to the point I was gonna ask. Sorry, continue. Yeah. My bad.
Some of them are harder than others, and those harder ones give more loot, but they're also more expensive to get to, and also they have worse monsters in some ways. Yeah. So, do we have any thoughts about the level design? about
No,
the,
so
the
okay, so I
planets?
thought you were gonna say this. Aren't the levels procedurally generated?
They are.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
But the basic
They are.
layout outside of where you enter is always the same,
Yeah.
regardless
Yes.
of the
Oh,
possibility.
okay, but
The way the game
actual,
plays
the
is
actual building is different inside.
Yeah, the
the
actual
inside the
building
building
inside is
different.
different.
Yeah, you can't speed run your way by knowing how to get there.
I mean, you can. It's like Minecraft. You can speed run it, even though you get a different seed every time.
No, you can't speed run it by like pressing but you can't make a robot speed run it by memorizing a path.
Ah, no.
You mean the outside
Yeah,
outside of the facility?
No, inside.
No,
Inside.
Yeah.
The place inside is random.
Okay.
Random asterisk.
So it's outside, and then there's the facility. So like that's like the. We'll just go with that terminology
Right,
because that's what.
let's take people on a journey. All right, you put in the computer. I want to go to this moon. You take off. You land on the moon, and you're outside. You look. You go around. You find the entrance, and when you get in to the building that's on the planet, the building itself inside is randomly generated.
Yeah. So like the inside of the facility is somewhat like a labyrinth, or a maze, and like you find your way around and find loot. Go through different doors and corridors. Sometimes you get on dead ends. Yeah. I mean that's basically it. But about the planets, I feel like you're talking about the planets as a whole, right?
Yes, planets, and we'll also talk about the weather, like when it's flooded, when it's.
So we'll talk about I think talking about the weather separately is the better option. But like in terms of the planets, I feel like all of them have like their unique. I feel like some may be like a bit similar to others. I feel like experimentation is the first planet that you end up on. It's like the beginner planet, like it's fairly easy. It's unique when you first see it. WoW and March are very similar also in that they're like very forest and greenery. Offense and Assurance are very similar because they're like both desert based. Then like you get like Dine, Rend, and Titan, which are all like snowy and like misty based. Like in terms of like design, they're like each type is
There's a decent variety.
There's a decent variety, yeah. And like the layout is like something that like you have to learn because like there's no like obvious way to get to places, and like you sort of figure out where the main entrance is, what the optimal way to go there is, if there are any fire exits, which for the most part we learned together when playing experimentation, right? Like we figured out where the main entrance was, and then like afterwards we were like, oh, there's a fire exit.
Yeah, we just went around the side.
And I feel like for future plans we didn't really do that as much because like exploration
became null.
Not that it became null, but like I feel like a lot more of the gameplay is like what happens inside the facility, less than outside.
Yeah.
And like
because we did explore some of the planets, but we didn't really find anything after we found the entrance and fire exit.
Yeah, it's like there's nothing much like after that initial exploration. Like your main goal when you're outside is to just get to and from the ship safely.
Yes, and avoid the outside creatures like the dogs, the giants, and the yada yadas.
And the thumper. Was it a thumper?
Baboon
No.
hawk.
The baboon
Thumper.
hawk. The what now?
Yes.
The what?
I was wondering what he said. Akshar, what did you say?
I said the thumper.
No, they're called the baboon hawks.
The baboon hawks. Okay, right. I heard something very different.
I heard so. I don't know. I said thumper because it just makes sense. They thump.
No, there's another thing in the facility called the thumper.
I see. Thumper too.
Even thumpier.
So,
Also,
yeah.
also pretty good game allegedly.
Yeah. Nobody likes him in Bambi. Let's talk about the weather. So when you land on a planet, sometimes it'll tell you beforehand, but sometimes it'll be eclipsed, sometimes it'll be flooded. And so in a flooded land, there'll be quicksand, essentially.
No.
Builds and builds and grows and grows.
Wait. No. So it's clear where there isn't any sort of like alteration to the map.
Sure.
There is rainy, which causes quicksand.
Sandy sand.
Yeah, quicksand. There's stormy, which is like lightning. So if you're carrying any metal objects, you run the risk of being zapped.
Electrocuted and dead.
Yeah. Then there's flooded, where there's like actual like flooding of like the land, and like you run the risk of drowning. There's misty, where you can't see anything. And the final one is eclipsed, where basically all the monsters come out to play.
Yeah.
All the monsters.
Those things, what we ended up doing is basically going, oh, which one doesn't have anything on it and is clear?
Yeah.
Oh, that one, let's go there, and that's all we do.
But that's only because of the fact that, and like this is another thing that sort of like the modding fixes, is that there is currently no sense of like requirement to go to a moon that has bad weather, like like because it's a high risk for no reward, right? But there's a mod that has like a weather multiplier, where like the worse the weather is, like the more that you're
the more stuff
the value of whatever loot you bring back is more. It's like if you go in on an eclipse, so if you go in on a eclipse day, say for example, and you bring back an item, it's like it might be worth like 3-4 times more just because it's eclipsed, right? It's like you took the risk to go to this place. Like currently, like that's not there in the game, so like you're just like, okay, why risk going in on a?
There's no incentive to do.
Yeah, there's no incentive. Basically.
I think it will work. It would work if they put more stuff in an eclipse or in a flooded or whatever moon. Just because one, you have to still do a lot of work to get all that stuff, but two, it's a risky.
Yeah.
Risky business.
And it does fuel the narrative of you are working hard for the company just to be caught.
Capitalism
at its finest.
So from here, let's go into the creatures, the monsters, the things that if they weren't there, it'd be a collection game.
Do you want me to say the name and then we'll talk about it?
Sure. Go ahead. We have a resident monster hunter over here.
Go from achievement hunter to monster hunter. Right. So we'll go alphabetically because I have a list up here. So baboon hawk.
Baboon hawk
doesn't look like a baboon.
It doesn't look like a baboon, but it does have like some sort of wings. Although we don't see it fly. I'll give a basic description and you guys can start the discussion on what you'll think about it. So a baboon hawk is a winged creature that usually attacks the player if the player is outnumbered. In that that you are alone, like you're more likely to be attacked by these creatures if you are alone rather than if you're in a group. And apparently there is like a mechanic where if you shout at the thing, it runs away, or like it doesn't attack you. There have been instances.
So if you are screaming as you're about to be attacked by it, it'll run away.
Yeah. But if you try to attack it, you will die. And there has been an instance where 3 of us died to it for some reason, even though we clearly outnumbered it.
Maybe I might have hit it.
Oh wow! Oh, there we go. Now we know the reason. Anyways, y'all can discuss what you'll feel about it if y'all have encountered it.
Looks like a kangaroo. That's my thoughts.
It looks like a cat.
Have you faced the baboon hawk, Dilantha? I can't remember. I'm pretty sure you've seen it.
I'm going to be honest. I don't know these people's names, so all I know is they're scary.
I'm gonna put an image just for you so that you know what we're talking about.
Thank you, sir. You are one of a. Oh my god, I have not experienced that, and I'm very glad that I did.
Yep.
It hops around.
So
it looks like a chicken with a pterodactyl mix.
Thank you,
like a bat kangaroo.
So I'll just put images for our reference, but obviously, what people are watching the video and audio won't be able to see it. It's just
go to the wiki. Be like Arno can go to the wiki. That's all you need.
Yeah. So I don't think there's much to say about baboon hawk. Just don't be alone when you're outside, or if you are, run back to the ship very fast.
Or just die.
No. The next creature is Akshan's personal favorite and the creature that he's gotten up close and personal with a lot. It is the Bracken, also known as the Flower Man. It is a creature that stalks you while you're inside the facility and will attack you if your back is turned to it or if you stare at it for too long. But the way to get rid of it is that you take a quick look at it and it'll run away. But you need to make sure that you always watch your back, because if you don't, it'll come up from behind you and snap your neck.
Yep. Fun little guy.
Thoughts on this?
Do not go into the back rooms.
He's so popular, people are cosplaying him.
I remember the first time I remember the first time we encountered it, and we all just freaked out because we didn't know the mechanics of him. And then we were in the main entrance, right? And we ran away, and then we were okay, we're gonna go to the fire exit because it's clearly safer there. And then Akshan goes in first, I go in, and then Akshan gets his neck snapped off, and I just ran out from the fire exit in the Lanta, and I'm like, no, don't go in there.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
The last words I heard was Seshan going, "Oh shit."
I'm gonna be honest now though, it the Bracken is a scary monster when you first see it, when you first encounter it. But I think after you start playing the game a lot more, it becomes less of a threat. When
you start figuring out mechanics.
Yeah. Because right now, when I play even solo, the Bracken is the least of my worries. The only time he becomes a bit of a bother is because when I turn the corner and he's there and he's in my face, and I'm oh, hello there,
my best friend.
Hello there.
All right, hello there. Next creature.
Next creature in alphabetical order is. Oh, so that's one.
George Washington.
No. There's one more part. There's one more part of the Bracken that I didn't mention. So once it snaps your neck, it takes your body back to a predetermined favorite location.
Yes.
The Bracken room.
Yeah. Not necessarily the Bracken room, but there are some other locations that it might take you to. I don't know how it's called.
I've seen it take people to just randomly a corridor or another.
Yeah, so it'll take you to a random place. But that's a mechanic. It'll kill you and then just take your body and go. So it becomes a problem because another mechanic of the game is that if your teammates die, you can bring their body back to the ship to incur less of a cost of your team members dying. So the Bracken taking your teammate's body and going is a bit of a problem.
A problem.
A big problem.
A big problem. Right, next creature is the bunker spider. I feel we've all avoided this creature.
Yeah.
It works. Yeah. It works like a normal spider would. They leave cobwebs and stuff like that. They're fairly easy to kill, but you can get stuck in their webs and stuff like that. So
yeah,
and they're massive. So
if you play Baldur's Gate, it's like those spiders.
Mm-hmm. Also, there's a cool feature inside the game where there is an arachnophobia thing, and if you
I can explain.
if
yeah.
there's an arachnophobia thing where if you turn it on, the model of the spider gets replaced with just the word spider.
In all red.
Okay.
You'll turn a corner and just be like, oh, spider.
I thought I had turned that on. Huh? Maybe I'd left it off.
Yeah. I guess like none of us have anything to say about the spider because like it's
Spider. It's a spider.
Yeah.
All right. Next
Also,
one.
I think we should have mentioned this before getting into anything. Like us talking about the monsters is technically spoiler territory to some example, to some degree, because like, because like if you want to, if you want to experience these monsters for yourself, then like, then go ahead and do that, and then come back.
I will say this. I will say this. We haven't encountered every single monster, right? I believe
No.
that's.
I think we have.
True,
I think we all have. Some might have. I haven't encountered only one.
All right. So, in general, we're saying like we haven't encountered. Okay, you might have, but not all of us have. So we're gonna come across. Yeah, your experience will vary as you play.
Because like the spawn rates of monsters depend from moon to moon and
hazard levels and weather and so on. So forth. Yeah.
All right. Another.
How many creatures are there, by the way?
We can go through this pretty fast. Let me see. 2, 3, 4. We're on the fourth one. There's another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16.
All right, let's do a quick fire smash or pass.
All right, next Akshan.
Smash up.
A favorite of the crew, circuit bees.
Oh no.
Pass.
So they are an outside spawning enemy, and like they are in beehives. If you get too close to the beehive, the swarm will attack you. Yeah.
But the beehives you can sell it for money. So you want to steal those beehives from them, and it's a risk reward.
Yeah, you see that.
High risk, high reward.
Video viewers, if you see the thing Akshan has on his little plate, whatever thing on his character over there, that is what the beehive looks like. Yeah, he's shaking it about right now.
Check it, Akshan. Check it.
Okay, stop. That's circuit bees, but yeah, they are pretty deadly. All right, moving on. We have the coil head, which is
coil head.
Smash.
Smash.
Is this smash?
Smash.
No.
Smash.
Anyways,
it's got a mouth.
If there are any Doctor Who fans, it's very similar to
the one part.
The angels.
To the weeping angels.
Sweeping.
Yeah. Sweeping? Sweeping angels. Yeah, they're very similar to weeping angels in that like you have to look at them to avoid getting killed. If you look away, they'll get closer to you and then kill you. There have been many instances where I have come across these creatures. The scariest one is where I was walking throughout the facility and I can hear footsteps running everywhere. Like a and then like all of a sudden it's like right there in front of me. I'm like, oh hi, Mark.
Yeah.
Oh hi, man.
I remember I was trying to walk past it while Seshan was looking at it, and then Seshan said, wait, keep looking at it, and he turned around and I need to do that.
Yeah. They are not fun.
They are coily.
Yeah. Next
one.
Next we got the Earth Leviathan, which is just a massive earthworm. This is another outside enemy which we have died to quite a lot of times. This is a very unfortunate. This is a very unfortunate, unfortunate enemy to. No, not picture. This is an.
Oh right, okay. I think it's a very unfortunate picture.
This is an unfortunate enemy to like run into, especially because if you have like heavy items, like you need to run because the radius of this enemy is like massive. I remember like me, Anuk, and Akshan were going back to the ship, and I was like, I'll lead the way. And then all of a sudden, the earth beneath me starts rumbling. I'm like, what is that? And then I die, and then I was like, all right, this is Akshan and Anuk have survived. No, the earth Leviathan is big enough that it caught Akshan and Anuk.
Behind them, yeah.
Yeah. And they're massive when you see them on the monitors. Moving on, we have the eyeless dog. A favorite of the crew.
Yep.
I love the eyeless dog. Yeah. It's hilarious.
I think
it actually now that I see it a lot closer, it looks a lot like wild mutt.
Yes,
from
it was.
Benton.
Benton.
So, as
Yeah.
we've mentioned before, eyeless dogs, they can't see, but they can hear you very well. If they hear you, you're dead.
Yeah. Or
If
I
they
was
hear
dog
you,
walked
you
past me
dead.
once.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was dog walked past me, and it was just it was grazing my face, and it couldn't see me because I was not speaking. I was staring at Sesha.
Yeah.
Who was on the ship.
I think there was another moment where me and Akshan, I think we were both on the ship, right? And then that was you. I think you died to an eyeless dog, right? Because you were there and saying, "I think I'm gonna die," and then you died.
No, it's a different one.
Was,
It
was
was a
that a different
different
one?
thing
Oh,
because you
okay,
didn't
I
even
thought it was.
you
But
couldn't even see what it was.
but I feel like
no.
I feel like we can't talk about the eyeless dog without consulting the master of getting who likes getting eaten by eyeless dogs. Anuk, what do you have to say?
Well, I have one person to blame for all this mess. It
If
is
you want to
your
know who,
stupid phone.
link in description.
It is you, Suchan, who has to be blamed for all of this.
Okay. The first one was me. The second one was Akshan.
No,
Well,
I should blame
I
you.
thought I ran into the ship. I burst out laughing because I thought y'all had started going, but y'all weren't going. So I was like, go.
You know, the funny part is, I was moving away from it, but he still sensed me somehow. I don't know how. And then
Yeah.
y'all was talking, and I got eaten
Yeah, I
up for
know.
some reason.
Yeah.
You didn't say anything, and you just got eaten.
So from the enemies, that's another thing. So from the people would usually think that the ship is like a place that you can like be safe. Like there is like a mechanic where you can like lock the door so that creatures can't get in, but that's also like on a timer. But a lot of the enemies, including circuit bees and eyeless dogs, can easily get inside the ship and kill you. And you can't even block them from coming inside, other than through the doors. But yeah, that's fun. Moving on, another favorite outside enemy is the Forest Keeper, or better known as the Giant.
Imagine Treebeard, but it's just his face, and he has no head.
I am
Lord of the Rings
Groot.
fans don't know what I'm talking about.
No.
No.
This is clearly Vin Diesel playing Groot.
I am
Vin Diesel, he decided I am become Groot,
I am
and he just transformed, but he failed a little bit.
Yeah, so a bit about the Forest Giant is like the complete opposite of the eyeless dog in that actually no, it can see and hear you, but the easiest way is to just break line of sight with it and then you'll be fine. If they catch you, you're dead, unless your teammate can magically teleport you back to the ship, which has happened once to Anuk.
Twice. Actually.
Yeah. Akshan saved him from being eaten twice.
Perfect timing, Akshan, though. Perfect timing, I must say.
What did I do?
So basically, I was getting chased.
I remember that. That was amazing.
Yeah.
I was
All right,
like, I can teleport.
Next monster is someone that I think only Akshan and Anuk have experienced. It's the Ghost Girl.
This is the one that killed me on the ship, Delanta.
Oh,
okay. The
right,
Ghost Girl has the lowest spawn rate of any monsters in the entire game. Her mechanic is that she will appear only to one crew member, and only that crew member will be able to see her. And once she starts chasing you, she will continuously chase you throughout the facility and even outside and back to the ship. The moment she touches you, you are dead.
And she makes this like song, like a song and a whispering sound in your ear.
Yeah, and she basically skips to you.
Yeah, so I was on the ship. I was looking at Delanta. I saw the girl skipping into the ship, and I was like, Delanta, I'm gonna die. And I just
And then he died right in front of my eyes as well. That was
I couldn't see her, so he just saw me die.
Yeah, I just saw you. Yeah, I just saw you. Well, I saw the blood and anyway.
Yep. All right, next.
Are those traumatized?
Next monster we got the hoarding bug, better known as the Yippee.
Yippee!
Mesh.
Yippee!
The hoarding bug,
My
as the as the name suggests, is a monster that like goes throughout the facility and then like they gather random loot and like keep it in one corner. They are mostly a neutral mob and will only attack you if provoked or if you steal their shit.
Really? If you walk past it, does it not attack you?
No,
if you walk very close to it,
no. You can go, no.
You-
If you walk
you-
too close, no, you can. You can go like right up against it and stuff like that. Like it doesn't have. As long as you don't hit it or take its stuff, you're fine.
Okay, that makes sense. I think I just hit it when it was near you one time.
maybe
Yeah.
that, or you hit me as well as.
This is a very common,
Maybe.
a very common mob that you find at the facility.
Yeah.
Yeah.
say-
Imagine a cute little grasshopper guy, and he's doing like a sumo squat.
Yeah. Next we have a monster that I can't say. Then Hygro Dere. I don't know how to say this. I'm gonna hold up.
Like,
I'm gonna text to speech this. I'm just gonna Google
Hydrogen.
Translate and just.
Hydrodeer? Hygrodere?
I agree, I think. Yeah.
The Hygrodere.
Oh yeah, right. Hygrodere. I can't English clearly. Or better known as
we don't need no text to speech.
or better known as the
Me and
blob.
Anuk were in the science department at school.
I'm sorry, me and Delanta being the business
What
folk.
a business to we brought a business to you.
So
The
this,
Hygrodere.
yeah, I'm just gonna call it the blob because it's easier. It's like a,
It's a blob.
Yeah.
it's a bluish.
It's a blob that follows you really slowly across the facility, and the way it gets you is by cornering you, I suppose. And
Yeah.
you have nowhere to go. And if you get stuck in it,
Yeah.
but it's so slow that you can mostly avoid it.
Or you can trap it behind a door.
Yeah.
All right, the next one is. I think all four of us have seen this creature. It's the Jester.
Yes.
That's the one who I.
No.
No, you didn't die to this.
You died
No.
to another
Okay,
one.
I haven't seen this one.
Okay, so the Jester.
No, I think you have seen it.
Oh, really? Okay.
I think
So-
you would have not
the-
experienced the
yeah.
depth of it.
I was trying to block
looks
the
like a-
trauma from my.
It looks like one of Sid's creatures from Toy Story, like Sid's
It
creatures.
actually kind
Ah.
of does, yeah.
Yeah, so the Jester is again another high level moon monster, and it's basically like a jack in the box that'll follow you around for a bit, and then it'll start winding up. And then after it's done winding up, it'll start to attack you. It'll basically chase
Yep.
you until
Pop goes the monster.
yeah, basically. We've only experienced this a few times, but we haven't been killed by it because we've gotten out. Basically, each time you exit the labyrinth, like you are like it resets. But if there's someone still inside it, even if they're on the other end, the Jester will chase them down. Yeah. Next is the Masked.
I remember this man.
Yeah. So the Masked mob is it resembles the crewmate a lot, but it has like a mask on its face, and I think this is from a very new update. Some of the ways that like this creature spawns is that like there are items called like comedy or tragedy masks, and like if any of the crew members like wear it for too long, they'll turn into one. But also there's a chance for it to spawn naturally.
I was gonna ask because I never heard. I remember you guys talking about just the mask. I didn't know it can spawn its own creatures, and
yeah, it can spawn its own this thing. Like when I was playing by myself, two of them spawned. And the annoying part about this one as well is that just like normal crew members, they follow you, including outside of the facility.
scary.
So basically, the ghost girl, but a simpler version.
Yeah, kind of. And so, like, if you
Can you kill it?
yeah, you can kill
Can.
it. You can kill it. You can't kill the ghost girl.
Ghost. Yeah.
You can't. Well, she already. She's ghost.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna skip this next creature. They're like, I'll just mention it, but like, it's the birds that Akshan was talking about. They're called manticoils. That's like the official name, but like, they're just very harmless. They don't attack you or anything. You can't attack them because they fly away before.
Harmless.
They look like
harmless.
Yeah.
But
they're
terrifying.
four-legged,
Terrifying
four-winged.
when they're blitzed.
Yeah.
I think they're four-winged ducks looking things.
Yeah. So this next monster, Dilantha has died up close and personal with. This is the one, Dilantha, you were talking about. It's the Nutcracker.
I mean, if the death itself was fine, it's just the way it happened was just like that.
So the nut.
What's he holding?
He's holding a
shotgun.
shotgun. So the Nutcracker is one of the high risk, high reward monsters that are currently there. Because if you manage to kill it, you will be able to pick up its shotgun, which can one shot kill most enemies in the entire facility. But you do lose an item slot for both the gun itself and the bullet. And like you can only get restocks of the bullet by killing other nutcrackers. The Nutcracker is like, I think they kill you based on off of movement. Like if you stand still, you're fine. But if you move, then they'll notice you and then they'll shoot you. But that's about it. What else? Roaming locusts, again another.
Oh,
No,
when you said that's it, I thought that was it.
No. There's another 1, 2, 3 more. The 3 more main ones, and then we are done. We'll go through them fast. We got the snare flea, which hangs up on the wall and drops down on people, grabs onto their face, and kills them.
And react.
Easy way to accidentally friendly fire and kill people on your team.
Yeah.
Hint, Akshan.
So it'll definitely kill you if you are playing in a group, but if you are playing single player, the game lets you off with critical health.
Oh, didn't know this.
Yeah.
Okay, that's interesting.
It's a very common creature. You can kill it easily, but you can also kill your teammates easily.
Yep.
Next we have the spore lizard.
I've never seen that.
This is also another one of those creatures that only attack when provoked.
I've seen it.
I've seen it also.
Actually, you've seen this, right?
I don't know what that is.
So
The one with
I've seen the picture.
So this creature again, like they usually run away from you and they don't attack. But if you get too close, they'll like release some sort of like pink cloud of like poison.
Like a skunk.
Yeah, like a skunk, basically. And then last one is the thumper. And the thumper's like, just imagine a humanoid creature with no legs and just walks around using its arms.
Imagine that Titan from Attack on Titan that crawls on the floor.
Yes.
But it's smaller.
Basically that, yeah. So it's that is that. I feel like overall the designs of all of the monsters, which is like another part we should cover, is that like they're all unique. They all have unique mechanics. Qualities, mechanics, they have designs that are nice. Yeah, I feel like a good job was done in like having a good mix between like inside and outside monsters.
It's a nice variety.
Yeah. Sometimes shit can get a bit. You can get a bit unlucky, like with walking through a fire exit and then getting killed by a bracken, or where you have
or walking into the building and suddenly dying from the freaking nutcracker. But yeah,
my experience, one that I had was like I was hiding from an eyeless dog, trying not to get noticed by it, and then an earth leviathan came up from underneath me and killed me. And I could not run because if I ran, the eyeless dog would kill me. So sometimes this game just says "screw you" and kills you.
Screw you. Screw you.
Yeah. Much like the company within the game.
Yeah.
Because if everyone's dead, the company your ship just leaves. Doesn't give a damn.
Yeah.
They want to minimize that. I love that when you all die, the company, the reasoning for why they're sending the ship away is they want to minimize damages and risk. Yeah, but you 4 people just died, and you want to minimize risk.
Yep. And you lose all the scrap, even though it's on the ship.
Indeed. All that scrap you got, that's not yours.
Yeah.
All the companies.
I think that flows well into the next part, doesn't it?
It does, because we're going to talk about, we're moving away from gameplay, level design, talk about the world, the tone, and the design of the game from a aesthetic point of view. So first part, which is not really to do with the world, is more the sound design. I really like the sound design of the game. I think besides the shovel, every every element of the game had good sound design. It had good ambience. The microphone thing, I've already forgotten.
Proximity chat.
Proximity chat. The proximity chat worked very well. But it also, when you're speaking and you're listening to other people speaking, when you enter a building, there's the echo of the building that muffles your voice in a certain way. I think that was really nice. It was really cool. Yeah. And it's just fun when someone's at a distance and you're yelling for them, and
you can hear them.
Follow my voice.
You can hear them through walls and everything.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, I like the sound design quite a bit. Any points on that?
Not really.
Moving on. Yeah, from there, there's another part of this, which is the whole game. We were talking about the monitor being very analog. The whole game has an analog style to it. Because even the objects you find aren't like smartphones. The objects you find are typewriters and old consoles and engines. Everything feels like it's the past but the future. With its style. The screen is a little bit looks like found footage from the 1990s.
Yeah. There's a poster of Elvis inside the ship, isn't there?
Yeah.
Elvis?
Yeah.
No, Elvis look-alike, right? Like
it's
like a
Elvis look-alike, yes. Elvis drawn alike. I think that style is cohesive throughout the whole thing, because even the monsters, like, they could have been from an 80s monster movie, like, in their designs and stuff. Everything feels very cohesive in that way.
It's again, it's amazing, right? There's clearly like from the guy. Sorry, what's his name?
Zekas.
Yeah, like the fact that like there clearly is a lot of thought put into those things. Like you would imagine that, especially when you're working on a game by yourself, you'd probably just be like, "Let's make it cool, man." It's pretty fun. But like the fact that there's clearly some thought behind it is it's interesting.
I feel that like Zekas, and like this is a statement that like someone else said. I can't remember who the original creator who like said this phrase was.
We can't do plagiarism.
No, but like it's just a phrase, right? Like he was talking about both Lethal Company and Parallel when he said that. He said that the studios that made, and like the studios or the creators of Lethal Company and Parallel did something in the gaming industry called betting on humanity, in the sense that it's the fun that you have while playing with other people that truly build up the game, which is like how like Among Us also sort of like blew up in popularity. And like I feel like it's like they take a bet on people and gamers as a whole being able to take a game like this and make it fun.
But I think it is more to the change in the gaming industry as well, rather than it being a chance on the gamers. It's gamers mentality.
Like, what I mean,
I think it's both. Of that.
Like what I mean, and like what I assume that the original creative said is that a lot of games nowadays they try to give you value like inherently throughout the game. Like like you give like when you think of a game, right? Like you pay a certain amount and you expect the game to give you a certain amount of value back, right?
Yeah.
Whereas like this game, even though like you technically you do have to pay for the game like Palworld and Lethal Company, but like the essence of the game and what makes it fun is the people you play it with and the people you play it with and the experiences you have in the game, right? Like that is notably the best part of the game. And I feel like the entire world, the structure, the monsters, like everything else about the game just plays an accompaniment to the fact that it's just a bunch of friends having a good time, being silly, being goofy.
Yeah.
Silly, goofy guys.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Silly gift. But I think it is also it boils down to games like Power World, Among Us. Actually, you know what? Among Us is not a I wouldn't consider under this category, but like PVE styles games where we always have PvP like COD, Fortnite, all this Battle Pass, Overwatch and stuff. Is everything is PvP, right? You're fighting against another player, right? And there's all competition, a lot of toxicity. So like a change in the pace, something with PVE is a good thing for the industry sometimes because you need that cohesive, no, the team feel, the teamwork to be together and playing games together with your
Yeah.
friends against the AI rather than playing against other people.
Yeah, actually, yeah, that's kind of a good point because yeah, there's very few like good cooperative, like unless like Deep Rock Galactic and stuff like that, like
Yeah.
the game like that. Yeah, there's very few of
But
those.
like, yeah.
At least new games.
No, so like the difference there, Anuk, is and like the point that was like trying to be made is that like even those games, right? Like I think Palworld to some extent, Deep Rock Galactic, and all these games, like they have like some set of like it's and like Lethal Company or like Minecraft, for example, they have like a way the game is to be played, but like it's not set in stone, and
Yeah.
like it's the players that make it that make or break the game.
That make it so.
I mean, also another perfect example, Helldivers 2, right, which came out recently. It's doing quite well because it has a PVE element rather than a PvP element, which is a bit different for it being a double A game rather than a triple A. I mean, for it being a double A game which has PVE elements rather than the PvP element.
But I don't think the PvE element is what makes these games like sure like it probably does something in the fact that like you are like playing with your friends together.
You do play with your friends when you play PvP, but like the what's the word?
No,
feel.
I get what you mean, right? But like I feel like there are other PvE games that don't have that same sort of like feel to it. I don't think it's just
Like
the
Blood.
But like I don't think it's just I don't think we can say that genre PvE is what is making these games successful. Like that's
it's probably not the only thing, but I think I get what Anup's saying. He's saying
I also kind of get it. Yeah,
it's not that it's the
more
only thing that's making it
more the
trend.
social aspect. I think that's probably
It's
the way.
that we've been sort of like hammered with PvP for so long that now that like these few small PvE games that are coming out are a breath of fresh air. They're not the only reason that people are playing them, but it does feel like, oh my god,
something a bit
something
different.
else.
Yeah.
Again, all the more reason to support indies because there are a lot of games like this out there. It's just that we haven't heard of them, and so keep supporting those good indie studios.
Yeah.
Indeed. Speaking of indie studios, we're talking about a studio that made this game, Lethal Company.
Oh yeah.
I don't know how to transition. So the world and the mystery of this game is what I wanted to go into. Anuk, you have more of a grasp on this than me.
The world. So I mean, I explained in the beginning, right? Like it's based off
Spoilers, if you didn't want to know, by the way. Spoilers.
spoilers. I mean, it pretty much there isn't much of a world building aspect of the game. There isn't much lore that has been explored or made even for the game. It's just like a very basic foundation. Like the monsters have these
Actually,
so-called abilities and stuff.
there is
Sorry.
like a story to the whole world that like I found that's like conspiracy based, but like I'll get into
But
that after
it's
you're
not.
done.
And
But
it's
it's not
not
official.
relevant to the it's not relevant to the game that much either, right? So
No, it
you
is.
kind of like
It-
leave that. I mean, you could leave it aside and still play the game and still
Yeah,
get
yeah,
the
yeah.
relevant out of it. Yeah,
I mean, it's
but
not. It's not a game that revolves around the story. It's like a game that is just based on actions you do during your
yeah.
gameplay, right?
Yeah, but
Yeah.
then like I still think it's a cool,
I
it's a
mean,
nice to have.
it gives a bit more for the lore adventures to find their own aspects of the game or like make their own conspiracies about the game.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like how you have the SCP, if anyone knows, it's like they have their own so-called yeah, they have their own wikis for like these monsters and how did they come about and stuff like that. So I mean, it's nice.
You mean SCP, right?
Yeah, SCP, but like
I
SCP.
mean, all of the creatures in Lethal Company could be SCP entries, honestly.
Yeah.
It's actually
I mean,
kind of true. Yeah.
I mean,
They
there
all
are
have very
few-
specific design, and they like you can study them on how they work.
but there are
Like the
comparisons
SCP
between
monster.
SCP and these Lethal Company monsters as well. So like you see videos online, you'll see definitely
Fair
a
enough.
lot of
Yeah,
comparisons.
Yeah.
I can see.
Yeah.
I can see that.
Currently, all we know of the world of Lethal Company is from the perspective of the workers, which is what you are in the game.
Yep.
What little
Yes.
tidbits you find and who you're working for on the announcements on the radio and stuff.
We don't know who the company is. We just know it's a huge place that just takes your money and just takes your items, sorry, and gives you money in return for what? I don't even know. We don't even know what the whole purpose of the story is, but we just know
Yeah,
we're earning money.
you don't really get a salary or anything, right?
Nope.
Even completing a quota,
I
so
mean,
you're just working.
we are
So
just. I think the feel of the game is you just earn that money to get more money to buy more things to earn that money, and then it's an
It's
endless
a loop.
cycle
It's
of
a loop.
Yeah.
It's a
like
cycle
the
until you die.
until you die.
so the story like the story that people have come up with like that explains like the gameplay elements, like the way the game works along with like the world that has happened is that like humanity has discovered a creature that has like an insatiable appetite that keeps on consuming things more and more and more. That is the creature that tentacle creature behind the high walls of the company, and that's the creature that keeps eating the scraps that we as the workers bring from these moons. And the reason that the quota goes higher and higher is because its appetite just gets bigger and bigger until we are unable to meet the quota. So that's like the
That's a story from the creator or a fan story.
these are like
Fans
these are
came
like
together.
unofficial like fan, like community conspiracy into like why the like just to give like
At the
some sort
moment,
of
it's just a
purpose.
theory.
Yeah.
It's just a theory, okay.
I
But
mean,
like-
it's like F and F. Like everything is just a theory until the creator
Yeah,
makes
But
it a
that's
but
thing.
like that being said, I feel like there are it makes some sense because like for some reason, right, like in my solo play, each time I go back to the company and like I'm giving like higher and higher quarters, like the creature behind the wall sounds angrier and angrier. There have been instances where I go back and like it just shouts at like for no reason. Like, I think you all have also experienced that, right? Like before you like there have been moments where you don't even ring the bell and like the hatch opens and it just takes the items.
Yeah, that is
I
true.
I haven't personally, but okay.
There have been instances
Maybe.
like that where like you land on the planet and like you just hear the creatures roar from like behind the walls of the facility and like you didn't even reach the counter yet. So like
Yeah. That's one thing I like about the game is that its storytelling is environmental. It reminds me of if you play Bioshock, there are points in the game where the game doesn't tell you anything. It just shows you an environment and you can walk around it and interact with it, and you get the story of what's happening. This game is very much like that. Outer Wilds as well. No spoilers, but this game is very much like that, and I feel like this is still early access. I feel like the creator, now that he has this foundation for this game, he can take it somewhere where even if he doesn't answer everything, he can lead us to some big revelation, like with the gameplay itself, with the game itself, once he has more of a finished product with the whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's another.
But the whole thing also, we were joking about how it's like an analogy for capitalism, but it is an analogy for capitalism and overworking yourself, regardless of if you. Yeah, from a surface level view, it is just like you work for the company, you do the job, you meet the quota, you get more work for meeting the quota. Keep going, risk your life, risk your work, and the only reward is death at some point.
The sweet release of death.
Sweet release of death.
Yes, you work yourself till you're dead. And it does it well.
I thought the exact same thing, Anuk.
Seems like we are in a similar situation.
No. Move on.
All right, moving on. So we have anything else about the world that we want to talk about, that we want to go into a little bit more?
I
No?
mean, no,
Alright.
I don't think there is much to explore because it's still in its pre-release version.
Still in
Yeah,
pre-release
and
version.
I would say
It's only
again, there's not that much to it where you can like.
I guess that's the fun part of it. Like Sashan said, there is a lot of
there's
fan-made theories and stuff like that. Yeah, which makes it
I
interesting.
do hope in the future. This is just me. If I were to make this game more, I would have there be a planet that you can purchase much later on. That's very expensive. That you have to still grind and do the work to get towards. That once you get that planet, you're able to do something. You're able to find out a big secret. It's all like let's say the planet you go to is the headquarters of the company. It's not the place where you sell the scrap, but it's the headquarters of the company. And you find an answer to your questions, or you don't, and the game still has that really cynical, nihilistic perspective on nothing matters.
Nothing.
There is another thing that I didn't mention, right? I'm trying to see if we can find it. In the company, like on the planet where the company is, I think someone like no-clipped behind the walls of the company and then found like a room with like generators. It's like an Easter egg. I'm trying to figure out, like, it had some writing on it.
You mean in the company downstairs for the generator, right? Sorry.
Yeah, like you can't get to it without like.
Because I think they are keeping it for your. So basically, you're supposed to get those. It's a future thing that's going to happen maybe soon. I don't know when, but supposedly you need to bring in those reactors, 2 reactors, and place it on near the generator somewhere, and it'll activate some sort of a sequence.
Oh, okay, yeah. So I found an image here, right? I'll share it for you guys to see. It's like a generator, yeah, like Anuk said, like with 2 like open ports for like reactors, and like on it they spray paint the words "Don't tell."
But we don't know until he releases something.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, so there's like.
All right, when he releases more stuff, I'm excited. I'm excited to see what this will lead to. Cool. All right, so we have now our section. Anuk, you have compiled for us an essay on the deep dive on the B-type engine. Let's take the floor.
So the V-type engine is just an engine. There you go.
Thank you very much.
In the shape of a V.
What a contribution.
No worries, happy to help.
All right. So I feel like we've talked about the game, how it works, what works about it.
I think there's one part that I saw that I didn't fully discuss, which is the solo experience of the game, unless you want to leave that for last.
Yes. Yeah, you know what? We'll discuss that now. So this is meant to be a multiplayer game. However, Seshan here, he's gone out of his way. There are no achievements for this game, so he had to find another way to overwork himself. And he decided to play the game solo without any other person with him.
Yeah.
So this is the solo experience with Seshan. Take it away.
Yeah.
Oh,
So I mean, like, so here's the thing, right? So like, realistically speaking, not many people might have friends to play with, and not many people want.
It's just sad.
No, I mean, like, it's a sad.
No. To be fair, no. What Seshan says is actually true, because like that's one of my kind of like down points on this game. And like not only this, like there are a lot of games in this category where you need to know some people to really enjoy it. So
Yeah. So like,
it's a
the game is built on the fact that like you need multiplayer to play it, right? And like I understand the fact that it has like open server support and stuff like that, where you can like just join random lobbies and like you can play with random people. But like at the end of the day, like unless you actually end up in a lobby with good people, like your experience can range from being really fun to just being downright terrible, right? Like my first or like random lobby experience was like it was pretty fun, but I'm pretty sure like Delanta or Akshan, I can't remember who, but like someone didn't have as good an experience when they first tried the game, and like so it was Delanta.
that was me. Yeah.
You want to say anything about that? Or?
No, it's just I think it's because I didn't get it at the I think when you start out, you should start with other people because you're just going to be like, and that was like me not reading anything and just going into the game. I think once I started playing with y'all and understanding the game a bit more, it got better. But then to get to that, I needed to play with y'all.
So yeah. So I mean, like even though it's built to be a multiplayer game, there are like people who will fall into the category of either not having friends to play with or like not having the time to play with friends and not wanting to join random lobbies. Like they might try the game out for themselves in like a solo play. And like in that sense of the word, like I wanted to experience that so that we can give that sort of perspective as well. And so like the easiest way to describe it is that Lethal Company, when it goes from multiplayer to single player, goes from being a fun game that you can do like silly, goofy stuff with your friends with, to a downright horror game the moment it hits single player. Because the fact that you're roaming a facility all by yourself, it's really quiet. You have no one to talk to. You're always watching your back. You're the one who's like carrying like everything back and forth between the ships. If you die, everything is gone, and like this, and like it's that thing where it's like when you're in silence in the facility, even the slightest noise just scares you, right? Like weirdly enough, being in the facility with your friends and hearing their stupid ass voice from across another room is more comforting than just like than just going through the facility by yourself. And like the risk factor of the game just like skyrockets as well once you hit a solo player level, because like the fear of dying is a lot more relevant once you're alone, because you don't worry about dying when you're with other people, because either they can retrieve your body or they can get back to the ship and like your scrap will also be saved. But like when you're alone, it's like you die, you're dead. And like
I just want to say that is the realest shit I've ever heard Seshan say in my life. When you're alone, you fear death more. You don't fear it.
I mean, that's literally the feeling when you're playing this game.
I know what you mean, but that's like not even like game thing. That's like a real life, some real shit stuff you just said.
But like that's sort of like the duality of like Lethal Company that makes it somewhat enjoyable, which means to say that like when you're playing with other people, that you can like laugh in the face of death.
Yeah. No. That's Yeah, that makes
So
sense.
like the solo, I mean, like that's a simple summary of like the solo experience. It's just like it's a lot harder, and like I played Titan solo, and it's not fun. Like you want to spend less and less time in the facility each time you play alone
As a solo player,
as a
yeah,
solo
I
player,
can
right?
imagine.
Like because like at that point you're like balancing risk versus reward, and like
Scary.
there's also added difficulty in the fact that like the game doesn't scale to like the number of people in the lobby. Like your quota still stay the same, even though like the quota price like is the same as for a 4-player group, even if you're a single player.
Hmm.
So like I mean, yeah, that's just solo play.
All right, that was Seshan Solo. I was just listening. I wasn't nothing to say to that. I have no interest in playing solo because it just is a horror at the moment.
I mean, it is a horror game.
It's just a
It's a
horror game
horror
on your
game.
own.
It is a horror game.
Yes, I will talk to myself if I have to. All right, so let's move on to our last section, which, if we were to talk, our rating at the end will be about the game. Not so much the game with mods, which is what we're going to talk about right now. That was our thoughts on the game. Now we're just going to talk about the mods and what we can do with it and what the mods have done, and our mod experience. Because it's a big part of the game.
The only way you can play the now.
Must download the mods.
We had downloaded a lot of the popular ones, and we downloaded some random ones that were just weird ones. But the most commonly used ones we ended up using and trying them out. And
I think you all
we had a
played with the
time.
mods a little bit more than I did. So, what would you say were your favorite mods out of the ones you played?
The horn mod.
No.
I know my favorite.
Oh no.
No, my favorite was Thomas the Tank Engine.
Oh yes. Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah, that's somewhere I think Seshan really tried his hardest to get me to experience it, but for some reason it was stuck in the ground.
Yeah.
So I had to teleport to, I mean, I saw it, but it was just stuck in one place and couldn't move no matter how hard it tried.
Yeah, that's unfair. But the Thomas the Tank Engine one was where they just replaced the dogs with Thomas the Tank Engine, and I didn't know where Thomas was replaced in the game, so I was just walking around and I saw something and I crouched. I'd be quiet, and I just saw this tank engine roaming about slowly, and I tried my best not to laugh. Oh god. Mods were fun. Mods were fun for the most part. Some of them brought to light the mechanics of the game, like the inventory system, because some of the mods were like for making a separate slot for the flashlight and separate slot for the walkie, which made carrying stuff a lot easier. Which made me realize, oh, the main game. I feel like I'm guessing it's intentional.
Yeah.
The limiting capacity of the inventory.
I think it's just how it was meant to be.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we had a good time with mods.
But the mods that we had were good for us because we are so used to the gameplay. As in, like for example, more inventory space for was it Pro Flashlight and Walkie Talkie, right, sir?
What?
The
Isn't that what I
extra.
just said?
No. Like those things helps.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
I know. I mean, like it's a better feeling compared. I don't know how to explain, it, but it continues.
Oh, you mean
it does feel better.
You mean having them on like an inside slot or what?
Yeah, the
Yeah,
inside
separate
slot.
slot.
Yeah. I mean, like that on the walk, like yeah. I feel like it's a mix. Like I like the flashlight being in its own in its own one because like you can just press F and like you can toggle flashlight to that. But like the walkie, you kind of have to hold Alt and like
Oh,
off
yeah.
like that. That was only like annoying one, I'd have to say. But like for the most part, like there are some mods that are helpful. There are some mods that make the experience a lot worse.
Yeah.
Which one?
Oh yeah, the horn. Yeah.
Not the no, not the
That's
horn. Like
favorite.
from the ones we added, I feel like I've added like a mix of like silly, goofy ones plus like ones that are like quality of life sort of ones. But like a lot of the mods that are like in the modding space in general, there are quite a few quite a few of the popular ones are like ones that make the game even more difficult for some weird reason. I'm just loading up the mod list to see if there's anything like.
I was expecting some of the mods to be a little bit more like, here's how we make the game very sunshine and rainbows and very fun and lighthearted. But no, there weren't that many versions of that.
There's like a whole bunch of other new maps and stuff like that, which don't really add much other than just the outside being new and different. I think there's very little you can do to kind of like. I think the modding community doesn't really want to like distract too much from the whole aspect of the game, which is like why they try to change like very little, like reskinning certain.
They do change very little.
They try to like just reskin some certain monsters and like sound design stuff. You know, like the whole yippee hoarding bug or like Goku Bracken or Freddy Fazbear Bracken.
The Goku.
Oh,
Bracken.
Goku Bracken.
It's hilarious.
Speaking of Goku Bracken, I know this is not time sensitive, but you know, Anu.
Sorry?
We talked about it earlier.
Akira Toriyama.
Yes.
This is coming out in April, but yeah, the man who
Rest in
created
peace.
Dragon
May he
Ball.
rest in peace.
Yes, may he rest in peace.
May he rest in peace.
Great way to end the episode.
No, I was gonna say that one of the other really fun mods that are there is the Mo emotes. And like the customization to like what you wear and stuff. There's another one which I haven't added, which is pretty popular, called like the hats mod, which like lets you
Hats
like
mod,
yeah
okay.
like lets you wear hats and like stuff like that, which is more customizable.
In that, a kick in the head.
Or even the costumes also perfect.
Yeah. I think other than that, like there's not much
The mods
else.
were mostly changing slight elements of the game, but a lot of them were like, here's something silly and funny.
Yeah.
And a reskin. Yeah. Modding.
I think the modding can probably
Modding
like.
is strong.
I think the modding will grow with like the game itself.
No,
Indeed, well,
it'll take
indeed,
its time.
well.
It'll take its time.
All
But
right.
the moddings
Well,
will make it better because at least the creator might be inspired to put it into his game. You never know.
could be.
Yeah,
Could be.
yeah. There are some games have done that as well.
Could
No,
be. The Backrooms mod was not good. I will hold true to that because
yeah, that was a very.
not fun.
I mean, I also got end up going through that mod, and it was just. Could have been more. Could have been more.
It's boring. It's just run around a room or die, and that's it.
I mean, that's how the backrooms work.
I know, but even the backrooms, it works because it's you're not playing it. But yes, that's thoughts on the mods for this game. We're coming to an end, and so at the end, we're going to give our rating on a scale of completed to skip it, not skip it to kill it. Kill it, right?
Yeah, skip it to kill it.
On a scale of completed to kill it,
I think
let's go.
Do you want me to go through the things again?
Yes.
Yeah. So it's
So we have. Why am I not able to find it? All right. So the highest level we can give it is. I feel like we talked about this, right? We can't really complete a multiplayer game, but like.
Well, yeah. Just.
So when we say finish it in this sense, we mean like play it as long as.
Play it as long as you like. Play to
Yeah.
Play to get everything you can get out of it. Like go to every planet, yada yada.
I really thought you were going to say play to completion.
Yeah. Just explore the game to its maximum potential. That's what. So it's finish it, try it, consider it, skip it, or kill it. Those are the. So it's finish it, try it.
I was going to say. Even then, I'm
consider it,
I was lost.
Skip it, or the final one, kill it. Yeah, Akshan, you first, I guess.
I'll go first this time. Okay, so this game, fun game, fun times had all around, and for the price as well, pretty good. Still in early access, and while it is complete as it is, there is more that can be done with it. So, and also considering the fact that it may have changed since we recorded this, I would say that you should consider it. Definitely consider it. Take a look at it. See if you have friends who are willing to buy their copies as well, and then go ahead.
Right, so on to me, I guess. I think from a general POV, I think I'm just gonna say try it because it's a fun game, and like Akshan said, if you have friends to play with, it's an even better experience, and you all will have a lot of fun playing it and exploring and uncovering different things about the entire game. But if you're a solo player who doesn't mind playing horror games like that, I guess it's also try it then. If not, it's I'd probably have to say skip it if you don't really have anyone to play with. But overall, I'd say it's a try it because I'd say it creates a lot of good times with close friends. It's another one of those I'd say it's very similar to an Among Us moment where it's just good times with good friends, and if you have that with your group of gaming friends, then it's a definite try it for the entire gang.
Okay. Since I recommended it, I wouldn't say finish it because it is still not finished, still in its alpha stage. But I would give it a try, being the fact being that it's still playable and it's still enjoyable with friends. But it has its flaws, as we have mentioned earlier also. But even though with its flaws, it's still enjoyable, I must say. So yeah, just try it. Don't miss out on it, basically. Dilanta?
Well said. Well, hi, I'm Dilanta. I think what I'm going to say.
Bye, Dilanta.
I think there's going to be very few games in this series that I'm able to do this for, so I'm going to do it for this one. I'm going to say kill it.
Huh?
Okay.
I'm going to say kill it. I'm going to say kill it. I'll tell you this. We have enough horror games in this damn market. All right, we have Resident Evil. We have Stardew Valley.
Huh?
We have the mines. They're scary, no?
What?
The Stardew Valley mines.
What?
We have all these scary games. Why do you want to play? We have Hideo Kojima's Overdose coming in 10 years. We have enough
Yes.
horror games. So kill it. We don't need a game like this anymore.
Yes.
Mhm.
It's a game called Overdose. He's not planning on overdosing.
He's not planning on overdosing. Don't worry. He's not. He's fine. He's just making a game called Overdose. But okay, no. In all seriousness, no. I'm not kill it. I would have been like that on day one, but no. I have two things. I would say my main thing is consider it, because again, for me personally, it was not my favorite time. It was not the best way to spend 15 hours. But it was enjoyable when I got to play with my friends.
Oh.
Because I like playing with my friends.
Now are you referring to us or your office workers?
I am not going to comment on that situation. Thank you very much for watching. Bye-bye. So I am considerate. It was fun to play with my friends. It wasn't the most enjoyable 15 hours. And if I could take it back, I would probably say, let's not do this because it's a horror game. I'm kidding, of course. Great pick, Anuk. Thank you very much.
Mhm.
But in all seriousness, I would say my second thing would be to skip it if you don't have anyone to play it with, because you might get an enjoyable couple of hours out of it, but I feel like it's going to get to a point where it's going to be very draining and tiring, and unless you enjoy that experience, which, by all means go for it. But if it's something that you're not 100% on board for a solo experience, I would say unless you want to subject yourself to torture like Sashan, I would say it's probably best to skip it unless you do have like a good group of friends to play it with. So, that's my final thing. I don't want to kill it. Not yet. We're going to do that for Akshan's next game, whatever that one is.
No, my next game is fine. The one after that.
No.
No, I mean, my next game is.
Oh right, I forgot. You haven't. Okay, all right. My bad.
But so that's our ratings. Consider it. Try it, and consider it. Or skip it if you're on your own.
I'll take it. Yeah.
So I feel like
consider it under the best of circumstances. Consider it.
I think all of us are in the same. I think the only reason all of us will say skip it is if you are playing it single player.
Yeah, because I feel like there's again only so much. Unless you're a big horror fan, even then, I would say there are better horror experiences to get that from.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah, again, if you like that, there are better experiences.
If the game was cheaper or free, I'd probably still give it a consider it. Like, I mean, like, it's really you go. Okay, fine. You're gonna make a cheap chat joke on me now. I mean, to be honest, right? Like, why would you pay 10 hours? Why would you pay 10?
Why would you pay 10 hours?
Sorry, why would you pay $10 for like a 2-hour experience?
Yeah,
it's like a single player, right? Like, I feel like if you didn't have like friends to play it with, like you wouldn't get past like 2 hours on the game.
To me, it's the Sea of Thieves problem, because that was my problem with that game, right? Like before, me and Akshan had that one good day of playing, and we never played it again.
Whose fault is that? I was like, "You want to play again?" and you were like, "I uninstalled it already."
Okay, yeah. To be fair, that is my fault, but I'm ready to play it again anyway. Different time. But that was the problem with that game too for me. Like, because I didn't have a lot of people. By the way, at launch, so we played much later. But at launch, I didn't have anyone to play it with, and that just killed the entire game for me. And I bought that game. that was a big mistake. So yeah, it falls into that problem. Like if you're playing alone, it's you can get something out of it, but not the full experience.
Yeah.
So.
All right. Well, I think that's our thoughts on the game. Let's wrap it up. Let's wrap it up for today. My name has been Akshan. Next to me has been
my name has always been Sashan.
And I am Anuk.
Next to him,
I'm Anuk.
And finally,
kill it.
Thank you for watching.
And before we go, we have 3 other episodes on this channel you should try out. We got Heavy Rain, which is the Lanthas recommendation. We got
great game. You should play it.
You should watch the review as well.
You should watch the review first before you get it.
Don't watch the review. Play the game. Then watch the review.
We got Last Campfire recommended by me, and we got Inscription recommended by Akshan. All 4 videos are up now on the channel. Be sure to check them out if you enjoyed this one. And yeah, Akshan, take it away.
Yeah, we're done. Goodbye.
Bye.
Oh boy.
The company has expended your use. Goodbye.